Hello, everybody. My name is Wilson, and we are going to do a Eternal Masters draft. I've been really enjoying this format. This has been a really, really great format. I feel like only the top level has been scratched as far as strategy goes. The I think right off the bat, the best deck that you could draft is something that's playing mountains. But now that I'm seeing that there are decks with flyers, I really want to get my hands on this threshold deck and the elves deck. So let's jump right into this. All right, looking at our first pack, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good one. We have things like Unexpectedly Absent, which is a great card. You can pay just 2 white and 0, and then put the card on top of their opponent's deck, which is actually pretty cool when you pair it up with things like shuffle effects. Like, say your opponent plays a Squadron Hawk. With the shuffle effect on the stack, you can pay white and put something on top of their deck. And when they go and search for it, well, that card is now on top of their deck and it gets shuffled in. So this is a very good card. Wall of Omens is great. Worn Power Stone is fine. I don't think there's much of a ramp deck here. It focuses more on smaller creatures. Young Pyromancer is fantastic. And even things like Sentinel Spider, Phantom Monster, Keldon Marauders, Hookmaster. I'm going to take this Unexpectedly Absent. It's very good. It has a lot of different play to it. And I think taking something like a Young Pyromancer, while it's very good, I think is probably not as good as Unexpectedly Absent. So we'll take that. And follow up Unexpectedly Absent with another great pack. There's Flame Jab, which will probably be our pick. Flame Jab is great. So there's Flame Jab. There's which makes me upset that we passed the Young Pyromancer, because Flame Jab and Young Pyromancer are just pure gasoline. There's a Honden of Night's Reach, a Carbonize, Eyeblight Sending, Goblin War Marshal, another Worn Power Stone. Werebear no longer has the right to bear arms, but I'm gonna take this Flame Jab, and we'll just jab our opponent. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a Daze. Let's see. There's an Eyeblight's Ending and a Silent Departure. Looks like blue is relatively open. White is okay. Open. Red does not look entirely open, just looking at these two cards. I think it's between Coalition Honor Guard and Daze. I think I'm going to take the Honor Guard. Just stay on color with our, good rare. And Daze, I mean, between the two, I think Honor Guard is very underrated, but I think it's quite good. Yeah, take the Honor Guard. Follow it up with Pacifism. Yeah, we'll take Pacifism. Red cards are looking like these. There's cards like Elvish Vanguard, which is fine. Ballynock Cohort. Remember, with Elvish Vanguard, if you're playing in real life, sometimes you may forget it's whenever another elf enters the battlefield on either side. So if an elf comes into play on your opponent's side, make sure that you put a counter onto this. Pacifism. Drakes are okay. I'm going to take this Pacifism, though. Just keeps us in this color. Ooh, another Pacifism. Okay. We'll definitely take this other Pacifism. Passing up on a Raise the Alarm, an Emperor Croc. Not really any red cards. If I was to go into another color, maybe green. Blue is looking a little shallow, but white definitely looks like it's open. All right. There's a Deep Analysis. I do like me a Deep Analysis. There's also a Monk Idealist, which is good with these pacifisms. We could always Unexpectedly Absent one of their creatures that has a pacifism on it. Get rid of the creature, but then get the pacifism back with Monk Idealist. But I'm going to take the Deep Analysis here. I don't know if this Flame Jab is going to work. And white blue is very good. You just get some flyers and get rolling there. Speaking of flyers, here's another card that's been on my radar as far as cards that I want to be looking at to draft. It works well with things like Faithless Looting, and it works well with things like Roar of the Worm. But you can also enable reanimate strategies. You can also just you have 5 cards in hand and 5 mana untapped. just, I'm going to discard my hand and then give it +5/+5. Pretty good. But I'm going to take this Jetting Glasskite. It's very hard to kill, and a 4/4 in the air is pretty darn good. So we'll take that. Flame Jab looking less good. Silent Departure, Brainstorm. We don't really have any shuffle effects, so Brainstorm I don't think is great. Well, I think Silent Departure is quite good. So we'll take that. All right. Let's see. We have Phantom Monster. We could take the Swiftwater Clips for the Flame Jab, but I think I'm just going to take Phantom Monster. Just a very good card. Just a 3/3 flyer. I was just getting done saying 4/4 flyers are good. 3/3 flyers are good too. We'll take that. It's a very late Carbonize. It's a very, very late Carbonize. It's also a late White Mane Lion. In case we get things like Calciderm or even Bird Gain Lifer guy. So yeah, it could be White Mane Lion. Very late Carbonize though. It's very, very late. I'm going to take this White Mane Lion. I see you, Carbonize. I'm going to take the Shoreline Ranger. Just having a way to mana cycle is very good. But also just, just having a 3/4 flyer is great. Drake or Dual Land. I think I'm going to take Drake here. Just a free 2/3. Yeah, I'll take it. And I'm going to actually take this Blossoming Sand. So I have a theory with this set is that playing off-color dual lands where you only get one of the two colors, I think is totally fine. I'll take this Gaseous Form. I think it's totally fine. You can double Gaseous Form. We may play both these. We may only play one. But just gaining some extra life throughout the game, I think is very good. And then you can, if you get into a race situation and your opponent is at 20 and you're at say 24 because you've played 4 of these lands, you're going to win the race. You're going to win the race, and it's not even going to be close. Speaking of not close, I think it's Sprite Noble here, not close. Gitsu Slinger is very good. Sinkhole is great. Firebolt is good. Llanowar Elves is good. I'd take either one of these. But Sprite Noble, what this is doing is this is making this creature, all these creatures much better, and also makes things like Mistral Chargers, the 2/1 flyers, even better. They become 2/2 flyers, or even 3/2 flyers later. Soul Catcher can be very good later. Even things like Welcome Guide can get things into the air and then be able to pump them all. So I'm going to take the Sprite Noble. It's great. Follow that up with Counterspell, War Priest of Thune, Shelter. Our picks here. There's also a Prismatic Lens, which Lens is actually pretty good because we have 2 6-drops. Lens could be very good, and I think it might actually be Lens. There's also a Shoreline Ranger, and it is foil, so it means it's just better than our current Shoreline Ranger. Counterspell, Thune, Prismatic Lens, Ranger. I think I'll take the Prismatic Lens. We could get things like Counterspell later, and Counterspells aren't 100% great in draft. While I know that Lens was very good, so we'll get up into this range. And, we could also, we have the opening to splash for a green card, so we can totally do that. Ingester is a 7 mana 2-for-1. I guess it's a 2-for-1. Pacifism is always great. Then there's things like Benevolent Bodyguard, taking gnomes. We did just pick up a Prismatic Lens, and that means that, a 7 mana something is not entirely out of the question. Passing up another Pacifism, though. I'm going to take the Ingester. I've played with Pacifism, and I already have 2 of them. I'd rather take the Ingester and just, just be doing that. I'd just rather do this. Hookmaster. Yeah. Better than Diminishing Returns. I'm not a fan of this. Yeah. Each player draws 7. Not into that. You can play Hookmaster. And I think it's definitely better than Welcome Guide, Mesa Enchantress, Seal of Cleansing, Luminous Grace. So we'll take that. Another Coalition Honor Guard. There's also a Worn Power Stone. Worn Power Stone is great because then that allows us to actually play a 6-drop on turn 4. Better or worse than Coalition Honor Guard? I think I'm gonna take the Worn Power Stone over the Honor Guard. I would like something like Giant Tortoise to wheel or get one of those later on in our draft. See, we pick one of these up anyways. Oh, but here's a Warden. I'm gonna take this Warden. I think it's better than Honor Guard. It means that we can play this and actually gain a mana. We can play these on turn 5. You know, these, if we get stuck on 3 mana, we can play Phantom Monster. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Warden. Another Warden or a Phantom Monster. There's also just a Rorix chilling here, which I don't appreciate that. Phantom Monster or Warden. I think I'd rather take the Warden than another Phantom Monster. That may be wrong, but here we are. Memory Lapse or a Monk Idealist. Memory Lapse or a Monk Idealist. I'll take the Memory Lapse. Seems alright. Alright, we have a Soul Catcher and another Glass Kite. I think I'm going to take the Soul Catcher here. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flyers, and this is also, same with the Elvish Vanguard, this is whenever an opponent's flying creature dies too. So we're not really killing a whole lot of our opponent's creatures. We're putting like gaseous forms and pacifisms and things on them. Shelter is pretty good. There's Shelter or War Priest of Thune. Let's see, I have 12 creatures right now. I think I'd rather have the Shelter than the War Priest. War Priest is great. It gets rid of things like Hondens and pacifisms and whatnot. Scoured Barrens for the same reason that we'd play Blossoming Sands, Humble, or Benevolent Bodyguard. I guess we could take the... I'll take the Scoured Barrens. Why not? Welcome Guide. I don't know if I'm going to play that, but we'll put it there for now. None of these are good. I'm going to take the Ravings, though. Ooh. Late Coalition Honor Guard. A late Humble, too. I like Humble. I don't like to be humble, but I like Humble. Alright, what do we got here? Have an Enlightened Tutor, which can go get Lens, Power Stone, Pacifism. That's it. There's also Prodigal Sorcerer, which I'm going to take this Prodigal Sorcerer. Prodigal Sorcerer is great, especially in a format that has a bunch of X1s. Another Sprite Noble would also be pretty wild. Is it actually Sprite Noble over the Prodigal Sorcerer? Sprite Noble may wheel. There is a chance that it wheels. Sprite Noble or Prodigal Sorcerer. Sprite Noble also makes other Sprite Nobles better, because then it just turns into a 2/3. You know what? I'm going to take the Sprite Noble. I think Tim is great, but, you know, this is the deck that we're doing. Alright, so let's see. There's Hondens. I really do like Hondens. Hondens are great. There's also Mistral Charger. Also Squadron Hawk. I haven't seen any other Squadron Hawks. I think, though, Mistral Charger is just better than your first Squadron Hawk in Pack 3. There's also Pengreen Drake. Peregrine Drake. I'm going to take this Mistral Charger. I think it's slightly better than Honden in this scenario, but normally I would take the Honden, because I think Hondens are great. Whoa, there's a lot of fire in this pack. A lot of fire. I think now I'll take the Drake. We can get rid of this Welcome Guide. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good so far. This is looking pretty all right. I don't think I want another Coalition Honor Guard, but I'll definitely take the other Drake. Oh my gosh. It's real. This is real life. It's happening. It's happening now. What can we take out? Got to start like cutting some cards, but maybe that's for later. Maybe that's for later us to figure out. All right, so our choices here are Glacial Wall, Silent Departure, or like an off-color Dismal Backwater. I don't think that we want a Glacial Wall. Maybe we do want a Glacial Wall. We don't really have much in the way of like ground defense. Glacial Wall may... I think it's definitely better than our second Silent Departure. I'm going to take this Glacial Wall. Ooh, that's a Honden I can get behind. It's also a Milliken. Milliken is great. But I'm going to take this Honden. I don't know if we have the time to play a Worn Power Stone. Maybe not a gaseous form either. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Looter. Wow. Maybe we were in the right colors. I'm not sure. We'll take Looter here. Not even close. And I'll take another Glacial Wall, just in case we run into that red deck. Ooh, a Silent Departure. Number 2. I'm going to take this Mishra's Factory here over our third Drake. Because Mishra's Factory sometimes, you know, they just will blow up the world and then we just have a Mishra's Factory left over. So I'm going to take that over the Drake. Yeah. We do have 2 Warden of Evociles. Maybe Drake is not bad. I'll take this other Shoreline Ranger. Kind of upset seeing Sulfuric Vortex going that late. All right, here's another Shoreline Ranger. We'll take that. And this Tidal Wave, we'll take that. It may be too expensive playing this. Especially if we're not playing Worn Power Stone. Maybe we don't want Prismatic Lens either. Milliken Wield? Do people not know what this card does? Take a Milliken. Get rid of one of these Silent Departures. Got another Shoreline Ranger. I think we're in the right colors. Alright, so we have to cut one more card. And... it might just be the Silent Departure. I do like Silent Departure, though. Maybe it's one of these Honor Guards. Let's see what we got here. This looks like a good deck. This looks okay. I'm a big fan. Maybe it's Hookmaster. Hookmaster is not doing much in this deck. Yeah, we'll put in these. Add some basics. Bam. Combine groups. Nice. This looks great. I'm in. I can do this. Ingester is, Ingester is probably the card that I'd want to play the most in this, but, this is where we're at. All right, I'll see you all for round 1.